So today we have to discuss risk management activities, which is related to software development. So let us take a look. What is it? The first one is the first topic we have to discuss is what is risk. The second topic we will discuss is the types of risk, and the third one we have is risk management. And on later stage we will also discuss how to manage risk and like what are the activities we generally do to avoid risk. So let us start. What is risk? So in day-to-day life, we always come to know, like we always use the term risk. We always say, ki, yeah, this is risk, or if you're doing something, then there may be risk. So in software development as well, risk is nothing that much different. It is also expectation of loss, a potential problem that may or may not occur in future, and generally it is caused due to lack of information or control or time, and the potential issues that in risk is that it can harm cost schedule or technical success of the project, and it also like take in risk, it can also affect the quality of software and also the morale of the project team. So hope you know what is risk, and now let us move ahead and see what are the types of risk in software development. So the first one is schedule risk. Schedule risk refer to the time related risk of or project related planning risk. Okay, means if we are not managing the time properly, then it may lead to the schedule risk, and it can affect if it is not like managed properly, then it can cause project failure as well as it can affect organization as well. So the some reasons that can that is reason for schedule risk are the time is not be estimated properly, or if resource is not allocated properly, or if we are doing expansion of project very frequently. If like if we are like if there is some project expansion, like if there is some project scope and we are expanding in on very frequent basis, then it may lead to schedule risk. So now the next one we have is budget risk, and we also know how much budget is important. So the it refers to the monetary risk, like if if the budget is overrunning, or if we don't have proper budget, then it may lead to budget risk. So the reasons that is like if like already told, if we have improper budget estimation, or if like scope of project is expanded unexpectedly, and if we are not tracking the budget properly, or if we are handling the budget not carefully, then it may lead to budget risk. Now, the next one we have is operational risk. So, operational risk are the risk which happen in day-to-day operation, and like if we are not following the proper process, or if like there is improper process implementation, then it may lead to operational risk. And the reasons for operational risk are if we have not made proper planning about project, and another one is if we have like conflict between task and employers, and last but not least, it is very important in any organization to have a good amount of skilled people. If the number of skilled people are not there, then the chances of operational risk is always high, and for that what we can generally do, like we can hire as much skilled people we can, and also it is very much important to like give sufficient training before doing any project. And now the next one is technical risk. It is more related to the functional risk or performance risk. It is mainly associated with the functionality of that product. And the reasons behind the technical risk are frequent changes in requirement. If we are changing the requirements very frequently, and also the same reason we have is like if we don't have skilled employee, the number of skilled employee is very less. And like generally what we do in project, we just break it into modules. Okay, so like if there is a high complexity in integration, like if you develop the modules correctly, but if you're not like integrating it in correct manner, or like if integration is very complex, then it may lead to technical risk. Now the next one is programmatic risk, and it is something that it is unavoidable, and it is generally external risk. it comes from outside and it is out of control. It is out of control. The reason behind it is like if there is a rapid development of market, so it can happen anytime, so it may lead to programmatic risk. And also the running out of fund is also a type of programmatic risk, and it may also lead to programmatic risk. And like changes in government policy can also affect, or loss of contract is also a reason behind that. Okay, so now we know what are risk and the types of risk. Now let us move ahead and see what is risk management. So risk management is a system of identifying, addressing, and eliminating the risk before they can damage the product. It is always better. It is always better to know risk at earlier stage, as if we know it in earlier stage, then it always we can ensure that the impact of risk on cost is less and the quality is like better, right? So the main objective of risk management is to minimize the probability of the negative events that is occurring. And and also it reduces the impact of event if it is happening. Then it also tries to reduce the impact of that. So what we generally do, we will see in later stage. What we generally do, we just like take a systematic, we just make a systematic plan for identifying, addressing the potential problem that may occur. So let us look. So the risk management activity, here we have one diagram. So the first stage we have risk identification, and then a risk assessment, which is subdivided into risk analysis and risk prioritization. And then we have risk control. In that we have risk management planning, risk resolution, and risk monitoring. So let us look in detail what we have. The first one is risk identification. So it is very first step of risk management process. It generally involves the identification of potential risk that may affect a software product or development project. It is a constant process. It is a constant process that is carried throughout the whole development, due to the fact that as like development progresses, as development process progress, then we know about the product much better and the risk associated with it. And generally this phase helps in identifying the two types of risk, that is product risk and project risk, right? So in this phase what we generally do, usually like we take brainstorming sessions or small sessions, like we have client, stakeholders, business manager, project manager, and test manager. They collaborate and participate in brainstorming session and study and analyze the product documentation to know to and make the list of probable risk. So the some common techniques that we use to identify risk is like failure model and effective analysis, shortly known as FMEA, and failure mode effect and criticality analysis, FMECA. These are some techniques which is used to identify risks. Now after that we have risk assessment. This is the next stage after risk management process. We do the analysis. It is subdivided into two parts, like we analyze, like we do analysis and prioritize the like how much risk is. So generally what we do, we like assess the risk. After identification we assess the risk, and then it is categorized and prioritized. If like degree of impact is larger, like if the degree of impact is larger, then we term it as high, so for medium, and so for low as well. And if the priority of like risk is high, then it is considered top priority, and we address it as soon as it is possible. And like for low priority, it is like a bottom priority. And we also like try to minimize it, but it happens after like managing high priority risk. So now after risk assessment we have risk control. So yeah, what we generally discussed, we discussed a risk, identify, first of all we like identify the risk, and then we categorize and we analyze and prioritize it. And then after doing that we will try to control the risk associated. So it is generally divided into three activities. The first one is the risk management planning. So like in that we come to know, or we try to make proper planning that that deals with that identified risk, which like with each identified risk we try to plan. And like we try to plan like what are the proper ways or what are the effective plan to make that risk effect lesser. Then after this management planning, then we will go to like risk resolution. Like we have made the plan, then it is time to execute it. So it refers to the execution of plans that is like outlined during planning stage to remove or fix identified risks, right? And now the next we have is risk monitoring. So monitoring and tracking is very important as like development progress. So it is very important to monitor and track it, so that like we just take the necessary action, we just take the necessary and appropriate action to identify the risk, and we always reevaluate the risk. What are the risks? We always reevaluate after time to time. So hope so you know about, like, hope you got to know what is risk, and what are the risk management, and how we manage the risk. So okay then, uh, thank you, take care, have a nice day.